This video will walk you through how to set the timeout settings with your Proxyrack proxies. So these will affect how long the server will wait when not getting any information back from the request that you've made before it ends the connection. So you can do this in two different ways. One is with your dashboard and one is through the Proxyrack API. So we'll first start with the dashboard. If you click on the product that you want to use, so in this case we're using Premium Residential, this will work the same way with all Proxyrack proxies. So click on the product, come over to the Proxy Endpoints tab, and then scroll down until you see the Set Default Port Settings section. And click on Add Port Settings, and then what you can do is click on the timeout setting here, the drop down, and you can select one of these options. So we'll say 30 seconds and enter a port number. We'll say port 10,000. You can also click this apply as default for all ports. What this will do is remove the port number here, and this will be the default setting for all of your ports going forward. You can then come in and override it if you want a different timeout setting for certain ports, and the individual port setting will override the default here. For now, we'll just say port 10,000. We don't want to set anything else right now, so we'll just click save. And then in a second, you'll see that it will pop up port 10,000. The default timeout setting is 30 seconds. And then, so that's how to use the dashboard to set this setting. You can also use the Proxyrack API by adjusting your username wherever you've configured your proxies. So you can find your username here under the authentication tab. And we're just going to make a slight adjustment to our username wherever you've configured your proxies. So that could be in code, it could be in a browser, it could be in an application, just wherever you've configured this with your username and password. So I have my username here, and all we need to do to set our timeout settings through the API is go timeout seconds, we're going to use the dash syntax here. So we'll get to the semicolon syntax in a second, but we're saying dash timeout seconds, and we'll say 30. Now, if we wanted to use the semicolon syntax, we would have our username again and say semicolon, I added two semicolons there, just one semicolon, timeout seconds equals 30. And then when we use the semicolon syntax, we want to encapsulate our username and our API key with quotation marks. So this will make it so the server knows to look for these parameters using the semicolon syntax. So then you would just take this and put it in wherever you've configured your proxies. You can also set this with inside the dashboard where we have our export format section. So a lot of applications or code want your proxy format to be, for example, in host or DNS, :port, :user, :password, or API key. And so we can pretty easily just come in and adjust this and say, not refresh, we're doing timeout seconds to 30. And then if we wanted to use the semicolon syntax, we would say semicolon, timeout seconds equals 30, and close everything with quotation marks. And then you can see that everything is automatically populated in here. The big list of all of the proxies that you can connect to. You can click copy list to copy it somewhere, or download list to download it as a text file. So that is how to set the timeout settings for your Proxyrack proxies. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at support anytime, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.